My name is Alyssa Aguilera, and I'm the co-executive director of Vocal New York. Thank you to the New York State Assembly for the opportunity to testify today. Vocal New York is a statewide grassroots organization. We build power among low-income people impacted by HIV/AIDS, the war on drugs, and mass incarceration. We've been around for about 20 years, in addition to doing advocacy around drug policy and criminal justice reform. We also run a syringe exchange in Brooklyn, so we know very well the impact of the opioid epidemic on our communities. And so, that's something that's very important to us, and we're very supportive of the idea of how pain management and marijuana can be a path forward for many people. And I'm here today to express our support for marijuana legalization, and in particular to support Assembly Bill 3506, the Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act. There are a lot of reasons to support marijuana legalization, but today I'd like to focus my testimony on the way marijuana has hurt Black and brown communities and fueled mass incarceration across New York State. In particular, I support this legislation because it will not only end marijuana arrests, but also repair the harms that have already been committed. For many years, we, along with our partners at the Drug Policy Alliance, have been leading the fight to end marijuana prohibition in New York. Our members, who are low-income Black and Latino individuals, have borne the brunt of marijuana enforcement over the last 40 years. Our members are arrested, jailed, and sent to prison because of marijuana possession. They live with permanent criminal records. They lose access to public housing and benefits. They are at risk of deportation and face other serious collateral consequences, all because of the racist way in which marijuana laws are enforced. And even in a more progressive de Blasio era, this reality still rings true. In 2016, 85% of those arrested for marijuana possession in New York City were Black or Latino, and racial disparities are similar in other parts of the state, as we heard from our partners in Buffalo. I'd like to just uplift a couple of stories of our members and the way that marijuana prohibition has impacted their life. Shaprice, 21, young Black man, was leaving his grandmother's house, running home to catch the train so he could make curfew at his shelter. The cops saw him running through the projects, tackled him, illegally searched his pockets, and found a small amount of marijuana. He was arrested, held for 3 days, missed work, lost his job, and lost his bed at the shelter. Anastasia, 19, Black, was in the car with her boyfriend getting beat up. A bystander called the police. When the police came, they found a small amount of marijuana in her car. She was arrested and now has a marijuana conviction on her record. Carl, 66, is living with HIV and uses marijuana to gain an appetite. He can't afford marijuana through the medical program. He has to risk arrest to buy marijuana on the street. Those are just some of the stories of our members who every day are just living in the crosshairs of the police, who have really there's a tale of two cities really with marijuana. When you're having such extreme racial disparities, for some people, it's really not a big deal to get it and to use it. And for others, it can really upend your life. And that's why we're here today. It's time for these arrests to end. There should be no more loopholes in the law, no more extreme racial bias. No one should be arrested for marijuana possession, no matter their race or where they live. The other aspect of this legislation that is very important to us is the way in which past harms will be repaired. The Marijuana Regulation and Taxation Act contains several provisions for people who have been impacted by prohibition, people who have been convicted of low-level possession, including possession in public view, and low-level sale will have that conviction vacated from their record. Other offenses related to possession or sale that were previously misdemeanors or felonies will be reclassified and or sealed. People currently incarcerated for such offenses would either be released or have their offense reclassified and sentenced appropriately reduced pursuant to the new statute. I think this is so important. We cannot change the law moving forward without looking backward and repairing the harms that people are living with and continue to live with for the last 40 years. These provisions are vital to any changes in the marijuana program, and I really do encourage you all that, as this gets negotiated, that we consider these to be, critical to the development of this law. And, Assemblymember People-Stokes was mentioning this early, but there's such a shame in the drug war, shame in the way that marijuana prohibition has hurt Black and Latino communities, and it'll be even a continued shame if all the money that is going to come in through legal marijuana is not used to repair the harms and put money in the pockets of people who have been hurt the most. When Black and Latino people are selling marijuana, they're criminals, they're thugs, they're gang members, but when white folks in California are doing it, they're entrepreneurs. We really need, we've been doing this work for more than half a decade, trying to change the laws so that Black and Latino people stop getting arrested for marijuana, and the room looks very different today. When we're fighting for our communities, we want to make sure that the people who have been most harmed are centered in all the benefits that are going to really come. We know that legalization is inevitable, that the money is going to come, and we need Black and Latino communities that have been hit hardest by the drug war to get the most of that money. Thank you.